Over the course of 12 years, I booked anybody you can think of, from Drake to Diddy to Floyd. My main focal point was building relationships. And so when I would bring people to New Orleans, it was to show them a great time, but I'll be okay with losing a few dollars to gain a relationship. And so I imagine me doing that for 12 years. You know, had I not made those initial bookings or took the risks on these events, I wouldn't be in this seat right now, you know?
It has to work or it has to work.
Welcome to Circle of Greatness. I'm your host, Nehemiah Davis, and today we got somebody special, man. So we already had one restaurateur on. We got to bring another one. This guy is a GOAT when it comes to restaurants, when it comes to throwing just some of the best events in the world, man, and just all around amazing entrepreneur. My guy, Larry Morrow. What's up, my G?
I'm chilling, man. How you?
Amazing, bro. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Your name precedes you. So my guy, Trap, always talks about you like, yo, watch out. I never did this on the episode. Let's see if he actually answered a face, Sean. But
that's my dog.
He always talks about you. And this might have been Clubhouse days, maybe, where my guy Larry out in like he flies into the city for everyone. You is it a February? It's a big event you do every year.
My birthday party in January.
In January, I know it's January or February.
Fly in
every time.
One time he bought a bottle for everybody in the club.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. And I don't even think he don't even drink.
No, he don't drink.
Yeah, that's the second time I saw him do that. Yeah, so man, he always just talks about just you and the game, and I think I don't want to put. Were you ever in prison or no?
No.
All right, that's what I was saying. I don't want to put. I don't know. How did y'all meet there?
So Trap, we both from New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so both of us being from New Orleans, both of us doing our thing.
Yeah.
We connected. One time when he was in New Orleans, had lunch at Morrow's, and from there we just been communicating and just created a brotherhood. Like he always cheering me on. Like he'll call me, like keep going, keep your foot on the gas, and just provide me with advice. He's always telling me what I need to do as far as financials when it pertains to investing into stock and different things, and different things that I can do for my daughter. Yeah. So he's just always bringing great energy, positive dude, a lot of experience in his industry. So I value his opinion a lot, and just proud of him, so we just always chop it up.
That's how the energy, bro. You always be speaking highly of you, bro. Like we was Instagram post, where to eat at. You just added all your
You hit me
spots,
the other day,
bro.
and was like, man, look, man, I just want to let you know, Trap always advocating for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I sent you the screenshot.
Yeah,
like
he always is. He always is.
He's just an amazing dude, man, and just to see where y'all come from, and we made it out. Like that's always just. I
was in New York the other day, and Charlemagne was like, he said something about Trap, and I think Trap told Charlemagne, and he's always definitely bringing me up. And
was that the New York event I saw you with Hove and everybody? Was that the same joint? That was somewhere else.
Well, so no, I saw, when I did Breakfast Club, that Charlemagne was there, of course, but the Hove event, that was a whole separate situation.
That was lit, bro. I got a well, it wasn't no invite. You could be a part of. It was like $100K from what I saw. Because it was a fundraiser, and I was like, I'm in, and that's the first thing I said, and I forgot. So they was there, and then Derek, you know Derek.
Who's Derek?
Big Dave's.
Oh yeah,
Pinky.
of course.
So
of course,
he's like, bro, you got to come next year. He went to something they had earlier in the year, his foundation, Sean Carter Foundation, she said it was like $100K for it. I'm going next year to that. I need to smoke. I want to be in. How was it? You're in those rooms all the time, but how was it just being? That seemed like a super high level room.
It definitely was. It was a great environment to be in. Yeah. Around a bunch of cool people. Yeah. Great environment to network in and just connect with people. So you think you'll walk into a room like that, there won't be much networking going on because of the type of room it is. But in actuality, everybody was walking around mingling, just connecting the dots. So. I had a great time, went with some friends of mine, and it was pretty dope.
I want to hear, you are very good at relationship building. So I watched you speak. You had a speaking engagement for my guy, Derek, and I was just listening to how you just really built your brand and built your business off of building relationships. And I think it's just such a important thing to do. So I kind of want to know the importance of building relationships, right? But also a little bit of your journey. I know you're a restaurateur now, like bunch of restaurants, opening a bunch more. Like I can't wait till you bring one to the A. But that started with you throwing events, right? And you just built up to that, booking Wayne, booking whoever you want, booking Meek. But I remember you saying, yo, Meek came, you set all of these cool things up. So I want you to kind of talk, how did you get to this point, right? It seemed like a constant elevation that you did.
So I would say, like just at an early age, I identified that, relationships were key. Yeah. And that just came from doing the event, booking. The first person I booked was Dre Michelle, bringing her to New Orleans, showing her a great time. And her leaving, and her manager Marcus and her friends was like, yo, out of every city we went to, you took care of us more than, anybody, and that's when she first got on Basketball Wives and was, hosting a bunch of parties. But, so I'm like, damn, like, I didn't even do anything. And, they were just really appreciated, the hospitality I showed them. So they invited me to LA. I was 20 years old. So I spent New Year's Eve in LA. And from there, I'm like, man, damn, like, I did all this happen by just me being me, and I was able to build a relationship from it. So I followed that same regimen, from 20 until now 32. And so when I would bring people to New Orleans, it was to show them a great time, but also just of course producing the event and make money, but that wouldn't always be the case. Yeah. So I'll be okay with losing a few dollars to gain a relationship, and so I imagine me doing that for 12 years. Yeah. I'm 32 right now. Yeah. Over the course of 12 years, I booked, pretty much anybody you can think of, from Drake to Diddy to Floyd to Lil Kim to anybody you can think of, right? And, my main focal point was building relationships. And so I would literally bring people to New Orleans, show them a great time, in hopes of making money. And, sometimes I'll build these relationships with people, sometimes I wouldn't. And it started off me using a booking agent. Yeah. And then I went from using a booking agent to not having to, because of all the relationships and the reputation I built in the industry. So, it was just me being very intentional and strategic, but just wanted to, show people a great time when it came to New Orleans. Yeah. And from that, so many different things grew. And I didn't realize back then I was planting these seeds to where 2018, I opened up Morrow's, and, all these people I built these relationships with over the years, will come back and support my business. So I would have somebody host an event, and they'd be like, yo, you want to go check out your new restaurant? And they'll come by. But I remember 2016, I booked Drake. I did this event. I lost like $25,000. I had Drake and DJ Esco.
2016?
2016.
Got it, yeah.
So that's when he was on Summer 16 tour or something like that.
Crazy.
And I booked him, and I had him and DJ Esco.
He's probably the low then compared to now.
Yeah, I mean, I was still 6 figures in. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm just saying, I
wanted to.
Somebody say he like 7 figures or better for a show.
Right. Yeah, I was so scared to do this event.
That's what I wanted you to talk about.
I was scared, but I'm like, yo, like, I was looking at like, even though I knew I could lose, I was willing to take the risk, because me being from New Orleans, how do I connect the dots? I'm not in Atlanta, Black Hollywood. I'm not in LA, New York, music industry, so how do I connect the dots being on this island, being a city filled with so much culture, but being on an island and not having the A-list, B-list celebrities there. I always got to pay a higher dollar amount. So I'm like, in order for me to build these relationships, and which my past experiences, I built relationships by booking people. I'm like, you know what? I got to do this. Yeah. So when I booked them, I knew I was possibly going to lose, and sure enough, I lost $25,000. And it was the best $25,000 I lost because I built a relationship, right? And, to the point to where I see him in LA, I see CJ in LA in 2018. We had a private event. I'm like, yo, we're going to be in New Orleans shooting a Nice for What video on Monday. Yeah. We're going to come by the restaurant. Now, Morrow's has been open for 3 months. Yeah. I opened up in April. This was like in July. Yeah. And so, they come to New Orleans and the whole city's outside because Drake is inside the restaurant. So that went viral, right? So in a relationship I invested in the beginning of, like, in the middle of my journey, paid off, a year and a half later by having Drake come by and, just kind of solidified a lot of things, because it exposed, what I was doing to a lot of people outside of the cuisine, the food, and the vibe that we curate. It just showed how you can make an investment into something not knowing how it pay off, but knowing it did, so.
Hey, you're looking at this and you're probably enjoying this episode and the strategies and the gems that I give you. This is just a fraction what you learn in my mastermind, right? I would love for you to be able to learn more information on how he's able to help Carter Cofield make $1 million in one single day, how he's able to help Rochelle Parks make over $500,000 in a day, learn how he's able to help Tevin grow his Instagram following from 70,000 followers to upwards to 200,000 followers within 2 months. And again, those results are not typical, let me be very clear, but they are possible for those who are willing to put work in, energy, and effort. If you're looking at this video right now, I want you to go to the website Mastermind with Neo, NEO.com, so you can apply to see if you're a good fit for our mastermind. This is specifically for someone looking to grow their digital business, right? Even though y'all probably even know David Shan, Sleepers for Suckers, he's inside of my mastermind. You probably know Sonya, the student loan doctor, he's inside of my mastermind. You probably know Darius Daniels, he's inside of my mastermind. Those are just a few more people who are absolutely crushing it as a result of being inside of the community. So listen, if you're looking at this, right, and you're probably looking at the episode like, man, you're dropping so much gems, but can you imagine how many gems you'll get when you're actually inside of the environment, when you're tapped into the community? What I want you guys to go to right now is mastermindwithneo.com, so you do not miss out on your opportunity to get tapped in. You will have to apply, you will have to get on the call, and hopefully you make the cut to be a part of what we got going on. I'll see you on the inside. Let's get back to the episode.
That's good, bro. So funny. I tell people, bro, all the time about really paying for access. Like sometimes I be booking talent too.
And
like,
people won't understand that.
it's like Jeezy. I booked Jeezy for something. Now Jeezy, that's my guy now.
Right.
It's like, but we paid first. So a lot of these people, you're also separating yourself from everybody else who don't want to pay. So it's like, I be booking people, Floyd, like booking people to come speak for us. And it'll be like, well, I remember Marcus booked Magic. And well, that was a Husky booking. I think that was like $250,000 or something like that. Magic still owe us on this, but like, yo, I'm gonna mentor y'all. Like, I'm gonna fly out here. We gonna whoop, whoop, whoop. But when that happens, it's all going to be because of that initial booking, and the relationship possibly will grow from booking. So I tell people all the time, like, sometimes you got to ask, what else is in it? Like, you got cost and you got value. It may cost this, but how much value that you're getting? You still see Drake or whoever you're saying, it's all love now. It's a relationship that you can't undo now. So I just think that's like,
and a lot of people don't understand that value, right?
Sure.
Like,
I remember you said the Meek John. When I heard that on the call, I'm like, man, you blessed me like that. And, and I know I'm sure it's all love. You know what I'm saying? So,
and like, it's crazy when we was at the gala, me and Meek and a few of us was talking, and he was like, man, Larry, like, you know, shit, every time I came in the city, you know, it wasn't nothing. Like he paid, you know what I mean? He wasn't tripping. And it's like, you know, it wasn't like we just broke a lot of bread together. You know what I mean? I made a lot of money from situations that, you know, just events that we've done. And you know, like I always say, when you show up to the table, show up with something, you know? Yeah, that's good. I think, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, it may start off that way and manifest into something much greater. But, you know, had I not made those initial bookings or took the risks on these events and spend crazy money or just go above and beyond when people were coming to New Orleans to show them that Southern hospitality, I wouldn't be in the seat right now, you know?
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how you show up to the table when you don't got money? What you showing up to the? What's some other ways to show up to a table right now for that person listening? Like I'm trying to add value, but I can't show up with money. What's some things you tell somebody?
Man, I say, man, currency is not the only form of value you can bring.
That's
right?
a fact.
You could bring great energy. You could bring hard work. You could bring, you know, you could just bring. There's so many other things you could bring to the table. You know what I mean? It don't have to be, you know, in a form of currency, you know? So, I mean, you just got to identify what your strengths are and just bring that to the table. Because, I mean, not everybody's going to be in the same financial positions to contribute finances, you know what I mean? So I just think that, you know, you got to understand your value and what you can contribute to a table. And when you do show up, don't show up with your hand out. Show up with something, you know, bringing something, you know, offering something to, you know, help whatever the situation is.
Yeah. That's powerful, bro. I really be telling people that. So what made you get the first? I feel like I just recently saw, and I know part of the story, but I saw, like, I think it was your first restaurant. You just posted on social media. I feel like it was a throwback. I feel like it was.
Oh, so
talk about what made you say, yeah. I believe your mom was in the industry or something first.
Yeah.
So what made you say, let me get in this lane?
So 22 years old, my mom, she had an opportunity to open up a restaurant. She came to me. I was 22. life, my mom at that moment, life was taking on that roller coaster ride. And I was forced to be, grow up a little, just as a teenager, just had a little bit more responsibility from, my later teens to my early 20s, of course, even to now. But she had an opportunity and she showed it to me. And this was actually a spot my grandmother used to operate a bar called Pizza Stop out of in 1999. So in, I think, 2013, the spot became available. My mom was like, yo, we can get this spot. We can open up a restaurant. So we opened up a spot called Larry Po' Boys and Wings. Great location. We had people supporting, but I just think it was at the wrong time in my life.
Yeah.
I was young. I wanted to be in the streets and not just be in the grocery store, being that responsible, right? It was doing okay, but one thing I learned from that situation was that, you can't jump into the restaurant and put all your eggs into the basket and expect for them to produce eggs, so put all your chickens in the basket and expect for that to produce, more chickens. But it's I learned from that, and I ended up closing after like 4 or 5 months. Told people I sold it. Was so embarrassed because my first really venture, brick and mortar, like it closed. Yeah. So that right there really kind of just just made me get on my grind and had no plans on getting back into the industry. After that closed, it's just like, all right, what's next? I just started producing events between my gambling habits and, going crazy in the casino, losing everything to, becoming, 27 years old. My mom's approached me with another opportunity to open up this other location she found. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm definitely willing. I've always been willing to take risks, even though I lost before that. I'm like, you know what? I'm much more mature now, 5 years later. Yeah. I'm in a better place financially, have a bigger brand. So let's take another shot at it. So we decided to dive into it. I spent, a lot of money producing this, the build out, because it was raw restaurant, and I wouldn't suggest anybody getting into their first restaurant to go into, have to do a full build out, right? If you can find a second generation,
yeah,
please do, because you'll end up spending a lot of money. And you got to really know what you're doing.
Extra 100 to $250,000 if it's first generation, right?
Well, like just say if you're trying to do a full build out and you got to do plumbing, bar, hood, AC, electrical, like it's a lot. And you can negotiate these deals with different landlords to where they do the build out. They give you TI, tenant improvement to build out the space. But if you don't know, they're not just going to offer you money,
that.
So
facts.
You got to just be privy to understanding like what you can get from going to put an established business into a location, a different location, So when we opened up that, I spent a lot of money, but I had a few reserves to where if we did need a few months of rent, I was able to cover it. And I was just so motivated by the restaurant that I lost back when I was 22, Larry's Po' Boys and Wings, to where it's like I felt like this had to happen. Yeah. Mom was going through a lot of things, and I was so motivated at that time. So when we opened up, she was able to focus more so on what she's great at. Yeah. Cooking. Yeah. I focus on curating the vibes. Yeah. I come from a promoter background, so I was bringing a lot of, I would produce events and bring people in town. So I had no problem with getting people to an establishment. Yeah. So I think that concoction was like the perfect concoction because she was able to be an expert in what she know how to do, and I was able to focus on what I know how to do, and that's curate vibes and bring people. Yeah. So when we opened up, line down the block.
Crazy.
And that really was the start of just moral hospitality.
Yeah, that's love. And the goal, you just build them up, eventually do a roll up and sell the whole thing, or what's the end in mind right now?
Well, I think we always looking for an end, and honestly, it's times where I tell myself, man, I just want to build it up and sell it. But I think, if you're cash flowing and, you have the team and the support to continue to keep building and keep running it up. Yeah. Why sell, know? But I do want to know the feeling of, being at that table and, discussing these numbers, deciding whether or not I want to sell. Yeah. I know it's coming. Like I was talking to one of my mentors, Sidney Torres, today. He's like the trash king, worth a lot of money. Yeah. And I was telling him, like, man, he was like, man, I'm so proud of you, because I told him, I'm like I know what's about to happen. Like I feel it, and everything's manifesting, everything's happening, everything's growing. And I said, in the next couple of years, I'm sure we'll be in a position to where we can get a substantial offer, but, is that the goal? Yeah. Right. So, it's exciting just waking up doing what I'm doing every day. I have no regrets. I mean, when I wake up, I'm excited. I'm happy.
You doing what you love.
I'm doing what I love.
Let's get in a little bit of the restaurant business, because we got some people here watching who want a restaurant, thinking about a restaurant. What's some things they could do to fill up? You being a promoter, you being a marketer, how are you keeping your thing booked and busy, bro? What are some things? One, I know the food got to be good. What's some other marketing tips or hacks that you recommend people tap into?
So I would say I haven't spent any money on marketing, right?
That's good.
A lot of what we do, like I have a big email database, which I don't use for my restaurants. I use for my events. Yeah. But the fact that, I come from a promoter background, I promote events, still promote events. I own Treehouse. Yeah. I'm curating vibes all the time.
Treehouse, that's a restaurant or a club?
That's a club.
Okay.
Right. So I'm curating a lot of different events all the time.
How many, you're open how many days a week, Treehouse?
3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think you just got to understand, your clientele, the people that you're marketing to. I think with me, just being on platforms like this has helped expose what I do to a lot of different people.
I can't wait to go to New York just have a meet. I suppose this may be out by then, but Marcus is having a tour in New Orleans. So I told him I'd probably come on that day. I literally said, I'm going to look it up and tell you. But I said, I'm going to go on that date so I could go support your restaurant. I literally told him that. I'll get you the date by the time we get off here.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think, man, just understand your clientele and, you got to market to them. You got to get out and network. I built the brand prior to getting into the restaurant industry. Yeah. So I built the brand, and me having a brand, like Rashad say from Earn Your Leisure, it's easy to build a business on the back of another successful business.
Facts.
So, being a successful entrepreneur in event promotion, when it came time for me to open up Morrow's, it was a lot easier to build that on the back of what I've built previously and what my mother built. So then Morrow's being such a big hit, it was easy to build on the back of that because I'm from a city where, we got culture and we got food, right? Yeah. So when you come into New Orleans, you coming to eat. So I think just being, having a presence outside of Louisiana, like I can go to a restaurant tonight, and if it's a Black-owned establishment, 9 times out of 10, they'll probably be familiar with my work because it's a small community of us in the restaurant industry. Yeah. So it's just like I network a lot. I get on a flight tomorrow to go to New York. Yeah. Like I literally been to New York 3-4 times this month, been to Atlanta 3-4 times this month. Yeah. And it's like, it costs a lot to move around like that, but 100%. It's the price you pay, right? And it's the price I'm paying to continue to grow my brand, to grow my business, to expose it.
Build relationships.
To build relationships. Yeah. So I think I've done a great job at, putting myself in those rooms and not, traveling 5 deep or 3 deep. When I show up, sometimes I may show up alone because I'm in the building phase, right? And so, I'm not trying to travel with an entourage. I'm trying to travel, with myself so I can get these relationships and I can bring it back and, we can figure it out from there, So
that's good.
I just think me being willing to put myself in those rooms, be outside and network and just building business on the back of other successful businesses has helped me expose it. Like TikTok has been a huge help as well. Yeah. But it's not necessarily
TikTok from influencers doing it for you? Or?
No, so like if you go on TikTok and look up Monday, like one of my restaurants on Morrow's, 9 times out of 10 it might be the top 2 or maybe top 5 spots in New Orleans that you need to visit.
How you come up with the name Monday?
Somebody asked me that today. I came up with the name Monday because I created a list and I wanted to do something that felt good, right? If it don't feel good to me, I'm not gonna be passionate about it. Yeah. So Monday just stuck out to me, and I'm like, yo, on Mondays we can do all day happy hour. Yeah. Right. So now we created a 4th day in the weekend, and we called it Monday. So on Monday is like we probably got the busiest Mondays in Louisiana. Yeah. Right. Which Monday historically in the restaurant industry is a lot slower day.
That's why they close.
Right, and a lot of restaurants close, especially in New Orleans. But we probably doing with 700-800 people on a Monday. Wow. And it's like, it goes with the concept because it's all day happy hour.
700-800 people
on a Monday.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, it's a great concept.
I don't like hitting my folks, but I'm going to hit you when I go just so we ain't got to wait.
Oh, no, you got to hit me, man. You got to get that full roll out. You got to get that full roll out.
I ain't got to wait. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this. So you got Monday, you got Morrow's. You're about to open up a steak, Morrow Steaks.
Morrow Steak.
Are you diversifying?
Got Sun Chung as well.
What's the other one?
Sun Chung is an Asian American concept.
That's the new one, right?
Yeah, I opened it up in May, named after my grandmother.
Okay, so Sun Chung, you got 3, opening up to 4. 4 different four different styles of food almost.
Right. And I have Spicy Mango, a New Orleans Caribbean fusion, opening up this year as well.
Yeah,
and one more spot, but I don't want to say that one yet because I don't know it's coming out.
But what I'm saying is, bro, that seemed difficult to do 5 different restaurants.
It's difficult.
5 different menus, 5 different operators. Like, I'm assuming now, I don't know, you're opening up all these different branches. One, because you're a restaurateur. That's what the Steven Stars, that's what a lot of these larger people do. But it seemed like it's harder to scale that. Like, Pinky's only slutty vegan, right? They may be doing bar there's only Big Days, so you can duplicate the formula. I feel like what you're doing is extremely hard because
it is hard.
Yeah,
it is hard, and like it's like of course I can't put more than one Morrow's in New Orleans.
That's why I was asking. Are you doing that because of I can't have a Morrow's on every corner?
Right now, I don't want a Morrow's on every corner, right? Because I think then you'll kind of like I was in a meeting yesterday with a huge hospitality group. Yeah. And they were saying the fact that they opened up 3 locations, it kind of diluted, other ones, right? So essentially, if you keep people going to one location for that one cuisine, it's like you could maximize. But I think, it is a lot harder to open up all these different concepts, right? After these few concepts I have opening up, I'm no longer opening up any more concepts unless it's worth it.
You're gonna see which one performs better out of
Morrow's is the one that we're taking, like my realtor hit me the other day in Atlanta.
When I hear Morrow's, bro, I think about Morgan Steakhouse. I think about, what's the joint here in Atlanta? They got this crazy Hawaiian steak. Golly. Houston's.
Houston.
Like, I think about McCormick and Smith.
That's a lot of people that
staple brand with well, all of them, but Morrow's, I feel that kind of, you like, I feel that's that joint to be in every major city in the world.
And that's the goal. Like, so right now on our roadmap, we have Houston, Atlanta, New York, Miami. Yeah. So that's the 4 cities we were working on. And, even I had a conversation the other day about Miami. My good friend, David Berry, he has a development coming to Miami, Irby. It's a huge apartment complex. Yeah. And so, we had a conversation about Morrow's going inside of that location in the retail part of it. But yeah, we definitely going to expand Morrow's. Like, the goal is not to continue to, the ones that stick, like, of course, Monday. I can see Monday being, in different cities. It performed extremely well. It's a great vibe, indoor, outdoor, majority outdoor. But it's a pretty cool concept. So I can see that, us taking that elsewhere. But right now is to get these new locations open, and not go any wider, just go higher, just go up. Good, and we're building out systems to where, we got the same blueprint. The thing that changes is the menu, right? When it comes to measuring our food costs, our POS systems, our whole 9, like, we're doing everything the same. It's just the production is different when it pertains to making the food or prepping and different things like that. Like, today was one of my meetings before I flew out. 9 a.m., like, my core team is growing. I have over 300 employees, but in this core meeting, and this wasn't everybody, it was, at least 12 to 15 of us, and this table just getting longer and longer. And, we had a bunch of people missing, but, I just see what we're building and the passion that's behind it. Like, everybody who's on my team, they're just not here just to be here. They're here because they want to be here and they love it and they're passionate. So, when you got people on your team that's committed just like you are, it's like, how can you lose? Yeah. So I'm so, like, the reason why I'm going so big right now is because I'm so motivated by what I have around me and the passion that, that my team has. Yeah. Because if you got people that supporting you, man, it's so easy to do numbers, Yeah.
Hey guys, listen, I gotta stop the episode. You're probably watching this and already, if you're like me, you already booking your flight right now to New Orleans. Like, you thinking about going to Monday, you thinking about going to Morrow's, you thinking about going to Morrow's Steaks, you thinking about going to Spicy Mango, you thinking about all of those things, right? And you're probably like, man, once I do all of that, I gotta turn up at Treehouse. I want you guys to go to morrowshospitality.com right now. It will give you the list of all the different restaurants. Go search all the Instagrams or just search best restaurants in New Orleans. These should be the only things that come up, right? So listen, this is approved. These are the best spots in New Orleans, and make sure you guys go. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And listen, as soon as you leave Bourbon Street, don't eat nowhere else but at Morrow's Hospitality, y'all. Let's get back to the show. So let me ask you, are you doing any cross marketing between the restaurants? Like, go to this restaurant, try our other spots?
Yeah, no. So I recently hired, like months back, I hired a reservation manager. Yeah. So before I didn't have a reservation manager. Like, I would, like, if VIPs come in or people hit me up like, yo, I need reservations, or like, you know, she even just answered the daily phone. We have one number, one phone that gets answered. She'll take, you know, she may pick up a call for a reservation, like, hey, you know, if you're trying to do something on this day, we can put you at our sister restaurant, Morrow's or Sunshine on Monday. Then everybody go to Treehouse that night. So, you know, it's really like we really got, you know, when you come to New Orleans, there's a lot of people that come and they're hitting all 4 spots.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next time I'm there.
Yeah. So it's become like, you know, as you grow, you start to build out systems, and as you talk to other restaurateurs and people in the industry, you start to see how, like, the things you can add to your system to make it better, things that you can.
What's the largest joint, a restaurant?
Monday is 13,000 square feet.
Yeah, I mean, that's big. Damn, how many people that joint sit?
Like 200 and some people. I mean, we might see, like, we might not max it out. You know, we probably do maybe like 180, 200, but we can see more. Ooh. But I just built out like a $500,000 kitchen in the back.
A lot of chefs in the kitchen?
Yeah. We have a lot of cooks, but man, I just built out this big ass kitchen, man. 32 square foot hood.
Yeah.
I mean, 32 foot hood.
Yeah.
And man, it's huge. Like, it's like still everything. It's a real production kitchen, you know?
180 people simultaneously, dog.
I didn't think we could do that, but once you start to figure out systems, man, and you got a team that's passionate, like, shout out to Cedric, Ed, and everybody else, Diori, Macy, like, you know, like, these are things that last year we were like, how are we gonna do this? You know, how are we gonna get the food out fast? Like, I went to Bubby's in New York, and it's a famous brunch spot, and I sat down, ordered food came out in 5 minutes. So I get to talking to the manager. I'm like, yo, like, how did y'all do this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm in the industry, and I just started to talk to him, and he showed me. He brought me downstairs into the kitchen, showed me the kitchen. I was like, this is how we do it. So it's basically like, sometimes we try to save on labor by having a few people, but in actuality, you could turn more tables if you just put 3-4 more people on the line. Yeah. May cost you a little bit more, but you can produce way more, turn more tables.
But the experience,
right?
5 minutes, you telling that. Look at you not gonna forget. Yo, they had that food out there.
Right.
5 minutes. Though.
So, you know, you might have to spend a little more money, but when you turn more tables, you can make more money. And so when people know that they can come wait in line, we may have an hour wait, but it goes by fast because we're turning tables. It makes it easier. So I think my team did a great job just figuring out a system that works for us, to where we can pump out, like, on a Saturday, we may do anywhere from 12 to 1,500 people.
Wow.
You know, so
that's at one spot?
That's at one spot. On Saturdays, like, every spot, 2-3 hour wait, you know, it's jumping. Yeah.
Crazy.
From Treehouse to Monday to
I'm definitely gotta hit your line, dog.
It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing just to have these businesses operating the way they are.
Constantly talk to these entrepreneurs about the importance of constantly reinvesting. Because you're not just open up new restaurants without investments, right? So, like, there's a lot of people here, like, they start making the money and you
want to take it, you want to go buy stuff, you want to do this and do that, but
bull crap.
I mean, you got to let your account build up, you know, not your personal account, your business account, and have reserves and be willing to make those investments whenever a convection oven go out, or you know, whenever you need new equipment, freezer go out. You know, sometimes we try to postpone it to, you know, not get it done, but you know, we so proactive. When something not working, we either getting it fixed or we getting a new one.
Yeah.
And then making investments and sitting down with your team to see how you can figure out how to make everything run more efficient, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to run more efficient. We wanted to be able to have a kitchen and support our kitchen, so we built a new kitchen, right? We literally took a raw space in a warehouse connected to Monday, and literally have a 12-foot hood and a 20-foot hood, and we got big old catering equipment, so we can make our gumbo, we can make our etouffee in batches, right? So now my cooks don't have to sit there and make a few batches that can only fit on the stove. They can cook for 1,000 people in one
whoop.
Yep. So it's just really just identifying ways that you can really just take it up a notch, expand. But you know, when you got a team and y'all passionate about it. Everybody's sitting down, collaborating with different ideas to see how we can get better.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we do a lot. We meet a lot and talk about how we can get better.
Yeah.
And we put
How often y'all
action
meet
behind it.
and talk about how to get better?
Well, so we have weekly meetings, we have daily meetings. Honestly, like I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I gave up a lot, like different, like I was focusing on real estate at one point and different things, but like my main thing right now is events and hospitality.
Yeah.
I was trying to do 20 different things, but when I really started to, you know, just focus on just a couple things, that's when things just really started to grow.
Yeah. Let me ask you, well, evidently that's one mistake, focusing on too much. What's some mistakes that you could tell entrepreneurs when they getting in this game or just business period to look out for? Because my biggest thing on my platform now is, how do I save people from getting these haircuts, losing 50,000, 100,000, $1 million, $10? Like, what's some things that, look out for this as you continue to rise? What's some things
I think you can avoid a haircut, right?
You can't or can?
You can't.
Right.
Right.
Some you can.
Well, some you can, but I think it's all a part of the learning. I think you can limit it.
Yeah.
But I think you can avoid it.
Yeah.
Right? You can limit it, because even me having mentors, I think the best way to avoid a lot is having mentorship.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Period.
You got people that's more experienced than you in the industry that you're trying to get into, and if you ask a lot of questions, you can avoid those haircuts, right? And I've been blessed to have people in like real estate industry like Sadar Spencer, JC, Sidney Torres, who would give me advice. And, I would call and ask a million questions. Like, I know I'm aggravating, but when I want to know something, and, a lot of people, they would like really give me advice because they saw my passion behind it and how much I wanted to know. And so like I'm a student every day, you feel me? So like I'm calling, asking a lot of questions. So I just think that it's important to, ask as many questions as possible, but surround yourself with people with more experience than you that can give you guidance along the way. Because, Kenny Burns, he's been a great mentor of mine. Ken and Jasper, Big Duffel, like, a lot of people have, helped me become the man I am by just, giving me guidance, in different areas of my life.
Crazy, bro. Listen, bro.
So mentorship for sure.
And I keep preaching that to people. I'm happy you said it, man. It's one of the most important things that's impacted my life, man. So, bro, thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate you, brother.
Straight fire, super insight. Let everybody know how they could tap in with you and about the restaurants, bro. So when y'all in New Orleans, they could pull up.
So if you're in New Orleans, you can tap in with me on Instagram, Larry_Morrow. You can Google Morrow's. Just look up the best places to eat in New Orleans. It'll guide you in all the right directions. Or one of the big advocates have been like a lot of Uber drivers, and just when you touch down in New Orleans, man, I'm blessed because a lot of people, they advocate for our businesses, right? Yep. So the Uber driver, the hotel receptionist, and everybody, they're guiding you in our direction.
Yep.
So when you pull up to New Orleans, man, just look us up. Morrow's, Monday, Sun Chung, Treehouse, Morrow's Steak, Spicy Mango, and a new spot on the way. Yeah. So,
I better tap in. Taking over New Orleans, y'all.
Yeah, so we about to expand, man. So I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it, bro.
Let's go. Thank you. And just like that, y'all, another crazy episode, man. When y'all in New Orleans, man, make sure y'all go tap into every restaurant. I want you to do a run. Monday, you go into a spot. Tuesday, you go into a spot.
Yep.
Wednesday, you go in the Treehouse to celebrate. Like, make it.
By the end of the year, we'll have one for each day.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. People talking about driving a car every day. Talking about which one of his businesses you could visit every day. So
yes,
make sure y'all tap in, y'all. We'll see y'all in the next episode. See ya.